Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show.
Froe Show.
My name is Frank Menken. I am your host, and I'm here with my co-host,
Joseph Murray.
Little Joe, Little Joey. Welcome.
Yeah.
First episode. How do you feel?
Feeling great.
Feeling great? Feeling excited?
Very excited.
Very excited. We kind of went all in, didn't we?
We did.
Straight in with the lights and the camera and the microphones and everything.
Yeah, well, it's, all or nothing. You gotta,
go all in or
go big or go home. That's
so, Joe, what makes you special?
what makes me special?
Yeah.
Nothing really. Look, yeah, I'm just here. No, I do music, doing audio engineering. It's super fun. Yeah, that's about all that makes me interesting. Have really cool friends. Yeah.
Sick. So, why audio engineering? Why do you want to do that?
Well, in school, did lots of music, and didn't want to be a musician because you have to be talented to do that. So I was like, what's music but not a musician? And I was like, tech. I can do tech. So I guess audio engineering was sort of the next thing. But did a little bit of that in school. Super fun. So I just kept doing it.
Yeah, made a career out of it.
Yeah, well, trying to make a career out of it, yeah.
Working hard.
And now I'm doing a podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Cool.
What makes you special, Frank?
Oh, look, I talk a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
But other than that, I take a bunch of photos. That's kind of my shtick.
Yeah, nice.
Wanted to be an actor for like 6 years, and then realized I fucking hated it. So got out of there right quick.
Yeah, right.
And now I'm doing an arts degree. That's
Nice.
That's my photo.
We have some of your...
Some of my art.
Yeah.
I really like that photo.
That's really cool.
I should print some more.
You should.
It's off camera, but there's a poster over there, and I could probably hang one there as well. I should rotate them.
You should, yeah. A new photo of Frank's every week.
Fuck, that'd be so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about these photographers real quick.
Yeah, who are you like?
If we're getting into photos,
Your inspos.
So, I've been looking at this. Like, I go through phases of photographers, and I feel like a lot of people do. A lot of people go through phases in, especially in the arts in their industries of like, people that they think are really cool at the time. Like, I feel like every photographer has had their Peter McKinnon phase.
Yep.
Of like, I'm gonna take some dope B-roll and put it all together in a 60 frames per second recorded video that I slow down to 240, and it looks fucking sick.
Nice.
And I put some dope EDM over it. But no, at the moment I'm really like into this dude Adam Jepson.
Mm-hmm.
Jepson.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Adam Jepson.
Yeah.
I'll put a link to his website. That'll probably be the easiest way to do it.
What makes him special? Like, what does he do?
So this dude, he walked from what was it? It was from the Antarctic to the North Pole, or the North Pole to the Antarctic.
He walked.
Yeah, he walked. Like,
why?
Well, he wanted to prove himself, I guess. But like, he yeah, and it took him like 467 days, I think. Of just like straight walking, but he brought his like medium format film camera with him, like this really really nice camera, and he finished his trek, and he'd taken all these pictures along the way, and he wanted to figure out this way that he could display them, that would make it more interesting,
right? Rather
than just like putting it up in a gallery, because that's a bit boring.
Yeah.
And so he printed out these photos on these massive sheets of rice paper, which is like super thin, like you could see through it.
Yeah, right.
And he printed it like that size, basically on rice paper. Like, that's archival photographic paper, so it's this really thick paper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he did it on rice paper, And so he folded it into these like A4 squares, and then he unfolded it, and you can see all the ridges and all the like all the creases and folds. And the whole idea of it is that like it's supposed to represent a map. And he did this with all of his work. Like he printed and folded it and made it all look like maps, because he wanted to go against the whole thing that Ansel Adams popularized in the early 1900s of like printing these massive photos, and having the idea be that the viewer is dragged into the photo and like is an active participant, whereas Adam Jepson. Sorry, I keep checking the names. Adam Jepson wanted it to be like viewing from the outside, like how you look at a map, where it's like for a specific purpose you're looking at it, but you're not being drawn into it. You know that it's a thing. So I'm really into. Yeah, he's really cool. I'm really into his work at the moment.
That is cool. I was just thinking, how big would that rice paper have to be if you fold it and it becomes an A4?
Yeah,
like A4's big.
Yeah, it's like a. Do I have any A4 things? I don't think so. No, I don't have any A4 paper.
That's
on hand.
Almost A4.
Yeah, that's like an A4 size.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, and it's all these like little, and you look at the photo from afar and it's like looks tiny, but it's massive.
That is so.
Because
cool.
it's probably like twice as big as that.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Boo, 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 boo. No, 4 times, because it'd be do. Because it's like it's hung up in this like a massive wall.
Right.
And there's this. I don't know her name, and I feel really bad that I don't. But there was this woman, and she's not a photographer; she's an artist, and she in like 2007 was thinking about all the things that people take photos of, and like all the basic, quote unquote basic, and so she went on Flickr in like 2009, and literally just searched for the thing that had the most results. Which turned out to be sunrises or sunsets.
Yeah.
And it was just pictures of the sun. There was like, this is 2009, so there's like 527,000 results or something.
Yeah, right.
And what she did was she downloaded all of these images, and then she printed them all onto these like card-sized pieces of paper, and then filled an entire wall with them.
Whoa.
Of all these pictures of the sun.
What the heck?
It is so cool.
So like they're only little, like.
Yeah. They're only little, but it's so cool. I'll see if I can find it quickly. But yeah, so she just like and that's she just appropriated people's artwork from Flickr, because like that's fine, because Flickr is free reign essentially. But no, it's really cool. I'm seeing if I can find a photo of it for you so you can see it. No, I can't find it very easily. That's not it. But if I find it, I'll see if I can find it after we finish recording, and then I'll just put it in the description.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, what about you? Like,
that's really cool.
Music people you're following, sound people, like podcasters, voice actors. That's the word I was looking for.
Voice actors. That'd be cool. Actually, I should get onto that more. I don't know. There's when you become an audio engineer, pretty much the first thing they tell you is like you now will analyze every song you hear, and you have to listen to everything. So I don't really follow one particular genre or artist, because you have to listen to everything. But anything rock is pretty cool. Not super into that EDM stuff.
Yeah. So like on that, like you'll be listening to it very specifically for like audio engineering purposes.
Yeah.
Has that been annoying? Like, what have you been? What sort of shit do you hear where you're like, ooh, like, do you have any musicians that you can call out where you're like, ooh, you're a bit shit, eh?
Well, I don't want to call out any musicians.
Oh, but I do. I want you to call out some musicians.
There's probably some like there are probably some productions where I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know about. I think you could have done that better and all these things, but yeah, you hear a song and you kind of like, I know what that guy's done to that vocal to get it sounding like that, and it is very annoying because you're sitting there listening to this song and maybe it's super catchy and I don't know, the lyrics are cool and all these things, but then you hear one production technique that you don't like, and it's probably something only audio engineers could pick out, and you're like, oh,
now
I can't listen to this song
ruined
anymore.
For me, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a blessing, but it also sucks sometimes. So.
Yeah. But like, what I want to know what sort of things stand out.
Things like it just reverb. Some people put just way too much on,
right?
Especially when people are starting out, maybe doing home studios, and they haven't studied a lot of production techniques. So you just chuck on a bunch of reverb, and sometimes it just sounds washed out, and you can't hear the vocals or whatever.
Right.
And it's just
Ooh.
Not too nice sometimes.
Yeah. So you're just like super hyper aware of everything now.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of get that with art now.
Yeah.
Because I have to take a bunch of art classes in my course. And I did last year as well in my last course, where it's like analyzing Renaissance paintings and stuff.
Oh.
And then I see people doing like recreations of paintings, and I'm like, oh, you're not using the right techniques, are you? Even though I could never do that. Like, no. I can't paint, I can't draw. That's why I take pictures. Like, I have the creativity, I just don't have the practicality for painting or drawing.
Oh, that's funny.
I have to take a sculpture class in a couple of weeks.
Sculpture class?
Yeah, so the way that my course is divided, I have to do 6 weeks of each module, and there's 8 modules. Yeah. So in this section of 6 weeks, I'm doing photographic layering and print and paper book. So basically Photoshop compositing and how to make prints. And then next 6 weeks, my next changeover, I have to do sculpting and darkroom.
Darkroom? What's that?
Darkroom. So film. So exposing film and stuff and putting it on paper, that sort of thing.
Cool thing you see in 80s, 70s movies.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They go in the room and you're like, don't open the door.
Yeah, you're like, keep the door closed. Yeah, it's exactly like that. And then next trimester, I have to do the other 4 modules, which is sculpture, painting, photographic narrative, and photographic studio photography is the last one. But yeah, sculpting and painting, I'm fucked.
I'm really keen to see any mangled rock that you bring home from sculpting class.
I'll take a photo of it and send it to you, and it'll just be this little man kill. But no, it's pretty funky. Yeah, it's a cool course, and I do really enjoy it. But that's cool. I'm not excited for the actual art stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about Billboard Top 100, didn't you?
Oh yeah, it's just something we were talking about in class not long ago. We were looking at genre, and then we somehow we have a lecturer who just is so good at getting off topic and staying off topic for probably another 3 hours. So we have maybe a 6-hour intensive one day, and he'll get off topic, and it's just 2 hours later it's like, oh crap, we better talk about music. But yeah, we got onto the Billboard Top 100 rock songs, and we just pretty much went through that list and talked about maybe the top 20, and that there was probably 2 songs on there that we agreed were actually rock songs.
Right.
So we spoke about what we think defines a rock song. So maybe the instrumentation and just distorted guitars and maybe vocal techniques, and then went through it, and it was like, this is pop,
right?
Not rock.
So pop rock has taken over essentially, over actual rock.
Yeah.
But then, could you argue that the genre has changed then?
You could, but then we'll see. How would you define rock music?
Well, I would define rock music as very drum based with gnarly vocals.
Yeah.
But I also think that rock is up for interpretation. The Beatles are a rock band, technically. And you wouldn't classify them as rock now. Like Helter Skelter maybe, but like Yellow Submarine, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
that's fair. Well, yeah, rock is such a big genre though. And there's so many subgenres with rock.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, could you argue that the genre has just shifted to a more electronic sound? Because rock is essentially what rock is the forefront of popular music.
Yeah, that's
right?
fair. Well, I would just argue that now there's a subgenre of pop rock, and the more electronic stuff that we have now that maybe are on the top 100 Billboard can be classified as pop rock rather than just rock.
Yeah, no, I get that. That does make sense, but yeah, I think the genre is just changing.
Oh, it is for sure. They all are.
Yeah.
Even like hip hop, we were looking at hip hop, and you go back to like the OG days of American hip hop.
Yeah, like NWA and stuff.
Yeah, and like R&B as well. Yeah. Now it's just kind of lo-fi.
Like lo-fi has made
stuff.
this massive resurgence in the rap scene. Because that's the rap that I listen to, is like that really lo-fi chill rap.
Yeah.
But like I feel like now the rap scene has kind of just really gravitated towards lyrics.
Yeah, that's fair.
Having good, solid lyrics over like a beat that's like sick. You know?
Yeah, but then you go back to like original R&B days, and it's like borderline jazz. Yeah. Because of, I guess, probably more the instruments they use and that
would have been their influence as well.
Yeah.
It would have been directly influenced by jazz. Like, doesn't the timeline just go jazz, R&B? No, jazz, soul, R&B, hip hop.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's just forever changing genre. It's too hard to classify like one song to one genre now. Yeah,
and I also feel like that's an important part of music these days, is that the genres are constantly shifting. Which is fine. Like that's how music is. Music is ever evolving.
Yeah.
But I also think that that's like a really shitty mindset to have, of like music is what I define it as. Because like music is what the people define it as. Yeah. More than anything else.
Yeah.
But it is really interesting.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what it'd be like in maybe 100 years. Because rock and roll, Elvis was the 50s. Right?
Yeah.
40s?
Something like that.
Yeah. So that's 50
he fought
years.
in World War II.
60, 70 years.
Late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah. So 70 years, and now we have so many rock subgenres.
Yeah.
What would be like in another 100 years?
Yeah. I mean, I would argue that you can't even classify Elvis as rock these days.
He's like rock and roll.
Yeah. He's more the roll than the rock.
Yeah, that's... Okay. Yeah, I see what you're coming from.
Also we could get into the whole conversation of how he stole songs.
Oh, yeah. He
his
completely
music technique
stole
from the African American communities of the 40s and 50s.
Yeah. But you could argue that that was a good thing, because then brought that music into like white society and made it popular and, well, not popular, but accepted.
Yeah, but like, cultural appropriation and stuff is usually not great. I feel like two white guys talking about this is not the best. Do you have any like weird sound engineering stories, like people throwing shit or something?
Oh man, our like live sound lecturer is the dude one of the guys who does Splendor and all those big festivals.
Oh right, one of my friends is the manager for all those festivals. Yeah.
Oh wow.
We should get her on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. What's I say? Oh, crazy stories. So he always has weird stories about the lead singer getting mad and just throwing mics or throwing mic stands and all these stupid things.
Yeah.
But there was one he told us the other week. He showed us a video. It's on YouTube. This guy gets really mad at the front of house engineer. So what had happened, they didn't have any time to sound check or anything, and they'd sort of changed systems. So they were running I think it was a left, center, and right system. And then at this venue, it changed to just left and right. So you could only hear the things that were panned. so you couldn't hear anything in the center.
I don't know what that means.
You couldn't. So
we're back. So technical difficulties. Where were we? We were talking about the guy.
Oh, crazy.
We got up to panning. We're talking about. You were explaining what panning was.
Yeah. So, when you listen to a song, you normally have a left and a right channel. So one for each headphone or one for each speaker. And then panning is where you can move instruments from one channel to the other. Right. So you could have it in the middle, and that comes.
Is that when it sounds like it's going around your head?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So you can really hear it when you have headphones on. Maybe you can hear like one drum in one ear and other drums in the other ear, or yeah, that's panning. So one tom's like panned over here, one tom's here, one tom's there, one tom's there, and so it sounds like it's moving. Yeah, but it's not. So if you have it panned to the middle, then you get the same sound out of both channels. Right. So both ears or both speakers. If it's slightly to one, you just have more sound out of one of them. If it's 100% one side, it just all comes out one side and nothing in the other. Right. So, yeah. So panning, this guy, I don't remember which way around it is, but I think they went from a left, center, right system to just a left and right. Yeah. So in the first system, whatever was panned in the center came through the speakers in the center. And then they would have had guitars and backing vocals panned left and right. So they came through the other ones. But when they went to this new venue or used a new desk, it was just left and right. So anything that was in the center, you couldn't hear. Yeah. So the lead vocals was in the center. So for the first probably 5-10 seconds, you just couldn't hear the lead vocal. Right. And this guy, acting like a rock star, he's just a small scale band, and he just gets so mad at this front of house engineer, walks out in front of the PA, and just starts smashing the PA with his wireless mic. Yeah. And you can see in the video, there's just these massive dents in the front of this PA system. Oh no. And it's probably like, that'd be a few $1,000s just for this little, part of the system. But he just smashes it. And then he's asking the crowd if they can hear him. They're like, no, we can't hear you. So he walks across to the next one. He's just like, what's going on? And starts smashing the next one. And then they finally, the poor front of house guy finally works out what's going on. Apparently he actually swapped desks, because they normally have a few there in case something like that goes wrong. Yep,
in case a Rockstar smashes it.
Yeah, he swaps the next one, and that's running the same system. So it's actually the same problem. So he had to repatch a few things and then pan everything, and then he finally got it. It didn't take that long, probably 20 seconds. But this guy, just acting like a hero, got so mad, and just starts yelling at this front of house guy. And then it's really funny reading the comments after that, because all the sound engineers are like, yeah, I would have just, turned the master fader down and left for lunch. And there's this one, I love this. So in bigger systems like that, they run 2 desks. Yeah. So they have one for front of house, which is everything that the audience hears. And they'll have one backstage for just the artist. So he fully controls what the artist hears. Right. So normally each band member will have their own in-ear monitors.
Drums will turn down drums and have vocals up and that sort of thing, so they can keep in time.
Yeah, even for the drummer, he's like, can I have more kick drum and less snare or whatever?
Oh, so it's that specific.
Yeah, it's specific to the microphone. Right. So if you have maybe a direct input from your guitar and a microphone on the amp, maybe, the guy could say, can I have less of the my amp and more of the direct input? Right. But yeah, so some of the comments were like, if I was the monitor engineer, so the dude running the desks for the artists, he's like, I would have pitch shifted the main vocals a little bit up, so just in his ears. So to the audience, it sounds like he's just a terrible singer, but to him, he thinks he's singing right. Yeah,
that would be great. That actually, you need to do that.
Yeah.
That's your weapon now. Is if shit goes down at one of your gigs, pitch shift them like a semitone.
Yeah, but I think that's best because he wouldn't even know till the end of the show, and someone's like, "What were you doing today? That sounded so bad."
He's like, "Nah, dude, I rocked it.
Yep, but no,
fucking killed it. Fucking killed."
Yeah. Oh, but he's just such an idiot, acting like a hero, and was not good.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's actually so bad.
Yeah.
So like, what other stuff, like other than working, like gigs and festivals and that sort of thing, what other sound engineer stuff, have you been doing?
Well, yeah, it's crazy. Some people think that live stuff is really the only thing you can do, and they're like, "Oh, but it's so competitive and there's not much you can do." But there's live sound, there's studio stuff, so everything on Spotify, got recorded somehow, whether it was in a bedroom or a professional studio. And then there's movies and games and animation and
so
all
it's
those
like
things.
What people see is this like tiny little dot, but there's actually this massive circle of opportunity.
Like, and even think about it, you watch all these credits at the end of a movie, there's probably good 20% of them, 25% would be just sound stuff, I reckon. So because you've got all the like sound mixers, sound engineers, Foley artists, like everything. Yeah, and you'd have even guys who hold the boom mic when they're location recording. And
oh fuck, like that guy. Have you seen that picture of
the Star Wars thing?
The Star Wars one, the guy in the pink shorts. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Your first boom gig, you need to wear pink shorts.
We've used booms at uni, and the lecturer showed us the photo, and he said the same thing. You have to do that.
It's so good. I love that photo. It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
All those photos of like the early 70s of them filming movies is just like dudes with mows and like bright shorts, no shirt, like bushy chest hair, just vibing.
Oh,
it's
love
great.
it.
Probably coked out of their minds. But
yeah. Way too much coke in the audio industry. Anyway, movies. Sound and movies, not coke.
We're not going to talk about coke. We can talk about coke.
Another episode.
All right.
So movies. There's a guy holding the boom mic. Then there's a guy on the other end making sure it's recorded properly. Then there'd probably be another guy if it's a bigger gig, mixing while he's going, deciding what audio you're gonna keep and what you gotta re-record. And then let's say you're in just a terrible spot and the recording you get on set is just garbage. You go back to the studio and get the what the heck? The actor. Get the actor back in and
also actors will also do stuff in the soundstage.
Yeah. Often they actually have to re-record their lines because
I actually didn't know this.
Really?
Yeah.
Because just because the sound you capture on set isn't good enough. So maybe like there's a helicopter shot. You often can't, capture that dialogue taken with a helicopter in the background because you'll just hear the helicopter.
So like all those scenes where they're like, quick, get to the helicopter. Like that's all recorded in studio.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen the video, but there's one on YouTube of Hugh Jackman in Logan. So there's towards the end he's like running through the woods and he just kills a bunch of people as Logan does.
Good old Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
But because there's some long shots, some close ones and big long moving ones and things like that, you couldn't get like all these grunts from his running in one shot, and he couldn't have a lapel mic or whatever.
Because he wasn't wearing a shirt.
No. So there's a video of him in the studio watching the film with some microphones, and he's just standing there like grunting and stuff. And it's and then he in the movie he stabs someone and he like yells in the studio, and it's really cool. But
that is really cool.
Yeah, but
it'd be
that
so
happens,
strange as an actor.
Oh yeah.
To be like, you've already shot the scene and
Yeah.
you're like out of character and you've gained like 5 kilos because you're not dehydrated.
Yeah.
And you're just in the studio like.
And it's hard for actors sometimes because often it's like 6 months later.
Yeah.
So you're probably doing another gig or even a third. You know, you've done one and now you're doing a second one.
Yeah.
And you got to come back and re-record this stuff. So.
Oh, that would suck.
But yeah, it's called ADR. I don't remember the acronym from it, but yeah, it happens more often than you think.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about like, so you've got that like after stuff where it's like they've missed their lines and stuff. But
Yeah.
what about like, because I imagine that it would be really difficult to get all of the audio on set. Like you wouldn't be getting all the footsteps and stuff. So like,
Oh no.
I know that that's what Foley artists do.
Yeah.
But do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Foley artists. Yeah, we've been doing a bit of that, and it's probably one of the most fun jobs. It's really difficult to get things in time, but it's so fun. And actually, the hardest part is probably finding something for that sound.
Yeah. Is there stuff that you found that's like doesn't make sense to be related, but it works?
I don't know. We've been doing stuff with animation, and that's really hard because there's the ones we've been doing are like more children's movies.
Right.
So you got to pick things that are a little more comical and not as realistic.
Yeah.
So there's this one scene from Romeo and Juliet where Romeo's like getting ready to invade the other garden or something, and he's like suiting up.
Yeah.
And he has this hose, like a nozzle from a hose, and it's sort of acting like a gun. So he's like building it and getting it all ready. It's so cool. But what we used for that was a stapler.
Right.
Yeah.
How?
So there's a few things where he'll move the gun, and then there'll be a big click when it sort of all clicks in. And what we did is, if you you can sort of pop the top off of the stapler to get the staples in. Mm-hmm. We sort of open that, and then you just like a bit to get the movements of the smaller movements of the gun, and then you just smack it down for when it like clicks into place. So it's like
right.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It is really cool. But yeah, so for a hose nozzle, we use a stapler.
Wow.
And then
because I do, when I make videos and stuff, I have to do foley in it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm especially for B-roll, because in B-roll, it's all going to be slowed down. But you even in slow-mo, you still want like regularly timed audio, because otherwise if it's like, it sounds really weird.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did a video for a coffee shop. And I'd filmed all these shots, so I was filming them making a coffee, basically. So I'd flip my camera upside down and put my UV filter on and had them shake like the chocolate powder on top and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. But the last shot was them pouring the coffee into the cup.
Like
and
the arte latte.
Arte latte. Yes. They were pouring the arte latte. But when they pour a coffee in a cup, you like scratch the edge slightly. And in the video, it was like they were like doing it, and they were doing the latte art, and they were like.
Yeah, right.
But I couldn't use that audio because it was like straight out of the camera mic audio, so I couldn't use it. And I spent ages trying to find the right sound for it. And what I ended up doing was I found the sound of someone unsheathing a sword and then sliding it across metal.
All right.
So it's like that.
Yeah. That is cool.
And then I slowed that down to like 50%.
Yeah.
So it was like.
So it fit.
And it worked. It worked perfectly. Which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
The hardest thing that I find is all those like whoosh sound effects when you're like going between shots, or you're doing like a quick pan and that sort of thing, where it's like, whoosh.
Yeah, right.
I can never find the sound that I want. I always have to make do.
We sort of did something like that, and we went outside, got a stick, and just recorded someone going past the microphone with a stick.
Oh.
And you know that sort of whoosh
Like,
sound you can have?
Yeah.
So if you do it really fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Right.
But it's just past the microphone, so it sounded like a whoosh.
See, I just can't be fucked to make my own sound.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But sometimes it's easier like that.
I know, and then I just spend ages on like sound sites trying to find. Like I pay $12 a month for this sound site that I won't name because we're not sponsored by them.
Yes,
but
sponsor us. That sounds right.
Yeah, starts with an E. You know who you are. No. So I spend ages on this site like looking for the right sound, and I can never find it because I don't know what I'm looking for. Like I have an idea in my head of the sound that I want, but A, I have no idea how I would execute it, and B, I don't know what to search for. Like, what do I search for? Whoosh sound.
Yeah.
And then it's always wind. It's just like,
yeah.
And I'm like, this is not what I want. I want it to be aggressive. I want like a tornado.
Tornado whoosh.
Tornado whoosh.
That's what you can look up next time.
That's what I should look up next time. Tornado whoosh.
Yeah. That actually reminded me of, we looked at how they made sounds in Star Wars, like the original ones.
Right. Like the blasters and the... Are we talking about the TIE fighters and stuff?
Well, we saw even just how they made the Millennium Falcon, how it breaks down. You know how the hyperdrive like breaks down or whatever? Yeah. And there's so many sounds. There's like...
Really?
There's like a really old plane taking off. There's just something clicking, and I don't know, there's probably 6 or 7 sounds that make up this 2 seconds of breaking down. And that's the other thing I found in Foley, that there's probably 2 or 3 sounds that make up everything.
Right.
You need to layer things to get the sound you really want.
Well, I was watching, because I really like all those behind the scenes stuff, because I can see how people do camera things. And I was watching one for Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah.
Because for the first Jurassic World movie, they had to figure out how to remake the dinosaur sounds from the first movie.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any, like, stuff to look at. Like, they didn't know how they did it.
Yeah.
And what they ended up doing to get the closest effect was to record an explosion and then slow it down.
What?
To like 5 or 10%.
Wow.
So you got like the sound effect.
Yeah.
And then they just like would slow it down a whole bunch to the point where it sounds like a roar.
Wow.
Like that very first part of an explosion. The like how it goes like blah and then goes.
Yeah.
Like that first part after the bois. But then slow that down so it'd be like...
Wow.
Yeah. Which is insane. Yeah, and like I can't even imagine how you would come up with that.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The things they come up with.
It's really cool though.
Yeah. With the Star Wars thing.
Yeah,
you know how they did... you know how they have like the vroom vroom or the lightsabers? So it's different now. They all do it with sort of electronic stuff. But back then, he found this. There's a few different sounds, but it's a rumble from like a really old air conditioner or something like that. There's a few other rumbly sounds. And what he did is he went to the studio with the like TV in front of him, watched back the scene with the lightsabers, put a big speaker in front of him, got a stick that was about the length of a lightsaber, taped a microphone to the top, and just stood in front of the speaker going vroom, like waving it past the speaker, and so you get that vroom vroom sound from it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So there's a video of him just standing in front of the speaker.
So it's essentially just white noise that's going vroom.
Yeah, kind of.
Vroom.
Yeah, he recorded it was like a rumble from an air conditioner.
Oh, so he's playing those sounds through the speaker. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's playing the sounds through the speaker,
yeah,
and then
he was just looping and all that. And he was just standing in front of the speaker with watching it, trying to imitate the actions that the actors were doing.
That's really cool.
And it was getting the sound. Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
That was cool.
I watched a video of how they did the TIE fighters.
Oh yeah.
It's so cool seeing all those models. Like, I saw a picture of George Lucas standing next to the original model for the first Star Destroyer, and it's massive.
Yeah, right.
Like, you don't realize how big it is, but like when you think about it, it makes sense because they have to take these massive camera rigs that still have a roll of film in them,
Yeah.
and go over it to make it look like it's this massive thing. So it kind of does have to be this massive thing to get that sense of scale. Even if it's like 1/16 of the size that it would be, which I think is what it was. I think it was 1/16 size to what it would actually be. It literally filled a room. Like, it was the size of this table.
What?
Yeah. Like, it was
That is
really, really, really big.
Wait, so they must be huge.
Yeah.
And that's just the TIE fighters.
No. This is the
It's
Star
the-
Destroyers.
Oh, God.
The TIE fighters were like...
I was going to say.
The TIE fighters were like this... This doesn't help for an audio listener.
Yeah.
The TIE fighters are like the size of 2 hands. Like that.
Yeah.
And they would put them on sticks on these like behind the backdrops, and then they would have the camera here, and they would angle the stick behind the TIE fighter, so that when it was coming straight at the camera, you couldn't see the stick.
What?
Yeah, which is really cool.
That is...
Wow. Yeah, and they didn't really have any, and they would just like, if any showed, they just like black it out on the film against the backdrop, and then like because they had the stars and stuff, so they just black it out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I didn't even think of that. So.
Yeah, and they'd be like frame by frame going through, blacking out these like little sections.
Wow.
Making sure that it was like perfect.
Yeah.
But I wonder how they did the sound effects for those TIE fighters. I wonder what they used.
I don't know.
Because that like
I feel like
effect is so specific.
Yeah. I think back in to get that Doppler effect. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Do
you want to explain what it is in case anyone doesn't?
It's so you know the sound for like when a car goes past and you hear like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, and sometimes the cars going the same speed, or if it's a race, maybe they're going actually getting faster. So the pitch should be going higher because the revs are going higher.
Right.
But when you're standing in one place, it gets lower once they get past you. It's because of the sound waves. Oh man, this is just too technical now.
For those 3 people that enjoy it.
Yeah. So every sound is just sound waves, right? And the smaller the wave is, so sort of the more squished it is, and the closer the peaks and valleys of this wave, the higher the pitch.
Right.
So the further away the peaks and valleys, the lower it is. So when a car's coming towards you, it sort of squashes the sound wave a little bit because it's continually getting closer. So the sound wave isn't quite true, I guess, to what the car actually sounds like because it's getting squashed. And because it's getting squashed...
So it's like getting compressed.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's getting squashed, it gets higher in pitch. Then when it gets past you, it's the other way around. It gets stretched because the car's moving further away, but is still producing the noise. So it stretches, and because it stretches, the peaks and valleys get further apart, and the pitch gets lower. So that's why it sounds really high when it's coming towards you, and then all of a sudden, once it's past you, it sounds low. So yeah.
Yeah, Doppler
effect.
I wonder how they got that for the TIE fighters, because...
Well, I reckon it would have been a similar way for the original films to the standing in front of the mic for the lightsaber thing. He would just done it faster.
Maybe it was just George. Maybe it was just George Lucas with a microphone going.
Maybe. So they would have made the sound, put it on a speaker, got a microphone, and just flung it past the speaker.
Right, that makes sense.
I think.
Well, speaking of movies,
yes.
Have you saw 1917, right?
Yes, I did see that.
So, from a sound engineer's perspective, we'll do it like this. We'll go sound engineer's perspective, and then we'll go photographer and videographer perspective.
Okay. Well, see, when I went and saw that, I was just so intrigued in the whole one shot thing that I sort of.
Oh, okay. I know this.
I didn't actually pay too much attention
Right.
to the sound stuff, but I think thinking about it now, it would have been really difficult because you don't really notice it as much when you're not studying sound. But in every shot, the sound is different, even if the same person is talking, because the camera's in a different place.
Yeah, exactly.
So with the whole one shot thing, I think it would have been a lot of ADR. Oh, no, probably not. It would have been a lot of location recording because the sound guy would have just followed the camera guy.
Yeah.
And it would have been probably pretty hard to recreate in a studio. I don't know. I should do some more research on that.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week you come back with the research.
I will. But the film stuff, tell me about that because that is intriguing.
Which part specifically? Because I could talk about the one shot, or I could talk about like the special effects they used.
The one shot. I think.
All right, we'll start with the one shot and we'll see where we go. So it was actually like this whole technological marvel, because like we know we've been able to do one shot stuff with Birdman, which was like that. It was
Birdman.
What's his name?
I've seen that.
He played the dad in Spider-Man Homecoming. Anyway, whatever that guy's name is, he was in Birdman, and that was like a critically acclaimed film, and it was also a one shot. But what makes 1917 so special is the amount of special effects that are in it, both practical and CGI.
Right.
That make doing a one shot so difficult. Like okay, we're gonna start talking about we're going into spoiler territory now. But
yeah, so spoiler alert.
Yeah, just skip forward to like 10 minutes from now.
Yeah.
So that's what made it so difficult, was because they had these massive practical sets where they would be like making these massive explosions, having thousands of people running. Like I'm talking specifically about that scene close to the end.
Yeah, when they all run across.
Yeah, where they're running out of a trench and like going towards the Germans.
Yep.
And so that scene in particular was obviously very difficult to film because you can film it more than once, but you really don't want to.
Well, even like I don't remember if the grass was like pristine before that shot.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really be able to.
Yeah, like you have one shot.
Yeah.
Which is why there's errors. Like the character, if I can talk, the actor wasn't supposed to hit anyone while he was running. That was an accident.
Oh.
And like he just kept going. He didn't stop.
Yeah.
No, but that's what makes that movie so interesting is how dedicated they were to those shots.
Yeah.
But no, on the topic of shooting it all in one shot. The way that they do it is they hide the cuts. So there are cuts, obviously they have to be.
Yeah.
But they did most of the like hiding the cuts practically, which I find super interesting.
Yeah.
I was watching the movie and I was trying really hard to see them. Which is because that's just the stuff. Like it's the same thing with the sound engineering stuff. That's the stuff that I find interesting. So I want to be able to see that. I want to be able to find it. Mm-hmm. But the way that they would do it is they would like pan the camera around or over or through something.
Right.
And as long as you can replicate that movement with no other actors or anything in that shot, then you can just cut to that same spot. So like, I haven't researched this, but I'm almost certain that the first half hour of the movie is one shot, no cuts.
Really?
Up until they leave the trench at the very start.
Right. Yeah.
I'm almost certain, but there could be a cut when they walk down into the little bunker and talk to them.
Doesn't the screen go black?
No, and that's what confuses me, is that it goes straight from outdoors to indoors. But I think there might be a cut there because of the way that the light is so different.
Yeah.
You'd have to change settings. So I think there was a cut there, but I don't know. But the first cut that I noticed was when after they get through no man's land, and they're crawling over that final trench. After they walk around that big section of mud.
Yep.
The camera pans up and over that wall, and as long as that's on a robotic arm and you can replicate that movement, that's where the cut would have been.
Gotcha.
But that's how they do it. And there's other scenes where the camera will pan around a tree, or it'll pan over something or through something, and that's when those cuts would be. It's just in those really, really big scenes that makes it so difficult to get the cuts. And you only have one chance, which is also really stressful as a director and as an actor, I assume. I assume you would be doing a lot of rehearsal for that final scene. And it still went wrong. Like, you still fucked it.
Because he still ran into someone.
Yeah, and he, like, obviously he didn't mean to, but, like, it did add to the scene, which is, you know, an unexpected bonus.
No, I thought that looked really good. But, so, I don't know too much about special effects and film and all that, but how easy is it to, like, put in a special effect, and if the camera's moving, get it to move with the shot?
It kind of depends. So, the way that you do that is... what's the easiest way to explain this?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
So basically, how that sort of stuff works is, it's just what you're doing is you've got your plate, which is like your film.
Yep.
And that's the film with no special effects and nothing added.
Yep.
What you're essentially doing is you're just sticking something on top of that, and then your job is to try to make that look as realistic as possible.
Right.
So how you do that is that you find markers within the frame to track. So if you were filming this table, for example, I could track on the table. There's this knot here, right? This black knot. I could track that knot and have the object sit on that and then pan the camera around it. So as long as there's something for After Effects or whatever program you're using, like if you're using Cinema 4D or something like that, as long as there is something for it to track, it'll do it. The issue comes in trying to match lighting, trying to add shadows, trying to match color, because your color won't be right. Like, your eyes do it, your cameras do it. Cameras and eyes have a thing called white balance.
Right.
And that's basically how blue or how white a scene is. So when you walk into a house, like most houses have orange lights.
Yeah.
So in those orange houses, like with those orange lights, when you walk in, you your eyes automatically adjust to orange light. So when you walk in, you don't see it as orange light. You just see it as white light. So,
and houses and orange lights.
Yes. So your eye automatically adjusts, but when you insert an object into a scene, it won't do that. It won't be the same color. It could be more blue, or it could be more. It could be we call it colder or warmer.
Right.
So it could be colder or it could be warmer than the scene.
Colder, more blue.
More blue, and warmer is more orange.
Gotcha.
And so you try to match it the best you can to the scene, and then you want to start adding shadows and like highlights and that sort of thing. And then like that's why all these modeling programs exist, because you need to match all this light, and that's like, even if you don't notice it, and it's the same thing in composites, in like photography and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If the light's wrong, you'll notice. You probably won't know what it is, but you'll look, like when you look at a photo and you go, "Oh, that looks fake." That's why. It's because your brain is going, that light doesn't match up. Or those colors don't match.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the most difficult thing, especially in 1917. To add all those things in, because their color grade was really intense on that film.
Yeah.
Like there was so much blue and greens and that sort of thing. I imagine it would have been very difficult.
Yeah. I remember just the sets. I remember watching a video on how they made the sets. Yeah. And they actually just turned up to this big like area of just grass and hills and stuff, and then they had to just dig and build it. Yeah,
they straight up just dug out these trenches. They wanted to film it at the original location. Where is it? It's France, right? isn't it? Somewhere in France.
I don't remember. Yeah. Yes, because he meets a French girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember things. No, but they wanted to film it in France, and France essentially said no, like we can't let you dig up a war memorial for a film.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not for like any weird, like not for war reasons, because France is pretty chill, but like because like you don't know what you'll find.
Yeah.
Is the issue. Like the reason they don't want to do it is because they don't want to dig up any bodies. Because they've left that area as like, we don't know what's in here. Like these people are laid to rest here, essentially. But yeah, so they couldn't film there, so they just had to like film it in Massachusetts or something.
Yeah, that's cool. I thought that was really cool how they did that.
But no, like that's such a good movie. So I was really sad they didn't win the Oscar. But
oh yeah, what that movie that won Best
Parasite.
Picture? Yeah,
it's very good.
You've seen it? I haven't seen it. I don't know if I could watch it just with
so watch it. Absolutely
with subtitles.
No, absolutely watch it.
Really?
It is so worth it.
What's it about again? I forgot.
It's like about everything, really.
Right.
The gist of the story is a like lower middle class Korean family gets hired by like a higher class Korean family, and like shit goes wrong. Basically, it's it's a heist film. It's a horror film. It's a thriller. It's a comedy. It's a drama. Like there's everything is in it.
How long is this movie?
Like 2 hours. I think.
It's just not even that long to fit all that stuff in.
It's not super long, but it's such a good film. Absolutely recommend. Like I was really apprehensive and I was really against it at the start because I really, really, really wanted 1917 to win.
Yeah.
But no, after having watched Parasite, I genuinely couldn't imagine anything else winning.
Right.
Which is like insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what? Do you have any other interesting sound engineering Foley stuff? Or like live concert things.
Well, see, we haven't done much in an actual live venue yet. This semester they're trying to organize a sort of like a field trip, I guess, where one night we're going out and the whole group's just running the sound for the night. So probably one of the venues in the valley, hopefully. I don't want to name any names yet.
No, that's fair. Does it have to do with animals?
Possibly. That is one of the options.
Okay, cool. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, actually, 2 of them have animals. Yeah. Anyway.
Do they?
Yeah.
There's one that keeps animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another one that is just one animal.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're both really good venues. They're cool.
So they're trying to get us in there and we're going to just literally take over for the night and get a band in and
so
that'd
take
be cool.
Like
Yeah.
Let me know when. I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to come.
I will. It'll be in a few weeks, but
right.
Actually thinking about that, are there any what's that new venue in the valley? Yeah, have you been there?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I went last week Friday. We probably shouldn't have name dropped it. Hey. Oh,
yeah,
it's fine. I was going to talk shit about it, but now I know.
Oh.
Now the name. We could bleep the name, can't we?
Yeah.
Let's bleep the name because I want to talk shit about it.
Okay.
So the new venue in the I can't say the new valley. This music venue is actually causing this massive problem for all of these.
Sorry, just drank some water and nearly died.
No,
Continue.
so this venue is causing a lot of issues for managers, music managers and stuff, because the venue has a contract with like a 2-3 year contract with one of the biggest management companies in Australia. So they have this like whole issue where all these bands are coming and this venue is just booking them out because they have contacts with the people that manage them. So all these small venues are getting fucked, like the one that holds animals, the black one, the one at the river, like all of these ones aren't getting any people anymore because
this one's taken over.
Exactly. Like this is taken over as the mid-range venue.
Right.
Yeah. Which is, well, the black one will still get people, but like the one that holds animals won't. Well, because it's a small venue, so like little artists will still go there.
Yeah.
But
I thought the one that holds animals is a little venue too.
It's pretty big. It has 2 floors.
But they only have the top floor, don't they?
Yeah. But like it holds like 600, 800 people.
Oh, what?
That's yeah.
Oh, okay. It's bigger than I remember it.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty solid venue.
Oh.
No, but yeah. So it's causing this whole like my friend that works as a manager. It was telling me that it's creating all these issues because people can't book gigs anymore.
Yeah, wow.
Because they're all just getting sent to this venue because yeah, it's actually really bad.
Yeah.
It's causing all these issues for these smaller venues because they can't make any money anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I've just been talking to my audio friends and they're like, yeah, the sound system is sick.
Well, yeah, no, it's like I went there and it's such a good venue. It is a really, really, really good venue. It's so pretty. Like it reminds me of Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's that kind of vibe.
Wow.
Super bougie, super high class.
Yeah.
But no, it's very good.
Yeah, right.
I just feel bad for all the artists. Not the artists. I feel bad for the managers.
Yeah, of the smaller venues.
Well, it's not even the managers of the smaller venues. It's like the managers of smaller musicians because like...
Yeah, because they can't get their musicians into anywhere.
Exactly.
Well, they can, but there's no one will see it.
Yeah, and no one will come because everyone wants to go to these other venues. And all the big artists are getting this really nice venue. And so all these managers of those places are getting fucked, which sucks.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah. I'm hungry. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. This was episode 1. What'd you think, Joe?
I thought it was great.
I had a good time.
Episode 1 of the Froe Show done.
All right. Sick. We'll see you next week. Have a great week. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Adios.
See you, y'all.